Hey guys, we are going to talk about Chapter 12, Feminist Theory, for one of the chapters this week. So, feminist theory in counseling is rooted in the broader feminist movement that seeks to address and dismantle gender inequalities and power imbalances in society. So, in the context of counseling, feminist theory focuses on the ways these inequalities and power dynamics impact mental health and well being. This approach is collaborative, aiming to empower clients and promote social change. So, some historical background on feminist theory. You had first wave feminism, which was late 19th to early 20th century, and this focused on legal issues, primarily women's suffrage. You had second wave feminism, which was 1960s to 1980s. This was a broader range of issues, including sexuality, family, workplace, reproductive rights, and de facto inequalities. You had third wave feminism, which is 1990s to present. This emphasized diversity, globalization, and intersectionality. It acknowledged the varied experiences of women based on race, ethnicity, class, and sexual orientation. And then you have fourth wave feminism, which is 2010s to present. And this really leverages social media to address sexual harassment, body shaming, and online misogyny with a strong focus on intersectionality. So, one thing I like to bring up within feminist theory is that it is pretty new. And there's a lot that's still happening within this, right? So just be mindful of that. This is a very moving theory that is, it's constantly going to be changing and have a lot of like that social advocacy in there. So some key concepts in feminist theory include gender and power, which examines how societal structures of power and oppression are based on gender differences, and it emphasizes the need to challenge traditional gender roles and stereotypes. You have intersectionality, which is a framework for understanding how various forms of oppression intersect and create unique experiences for individuals. You have patriarchy, which is a system where men hold power and women are largely excluded from it. Feminist theory aims to dismantle patriarchal structures. I don't know why, but this always, if you've seen the Barbie movie, I think a lot about like that patriarchy. It does a good job of kind of like using that feminist theory throughout that movie, but in a very extreme ways. Next one is empowerment, which is helping clients gain control over their own lives and decisions, fostering a sense of personal power and agency. And then another key concept that I didn't put on here is social justice. So, a big part of feminist theory is focusing on addressing and correcting social inequalities that contribute to psychological distress. So, what does this look like? The applications in counseling. So, as far as the therapeutic relationship goes, the counselor and client will work as partners. The counselor is not an expert, but a facilitator, which we're going to kind of dive into that a little bit next. The techniques that are used to promote the client's sense of agency and autonomy, and there should be open dialogue about the therapeutic process, including the counselor's values and biases. Assessment and diagnoses, so understanding clients' issues within the broader social, cultural, and political context. Avoid using behaviors and feelings that are responsive to oppressive circumstances. So you want to make sure that you're not like feeding into things that could be oppressive. And then lastly, interventions and strategies. So you want to help clients become aware of societal structures and their impacts, support clients in advocating for themselves and participating in social change. And then, of course, emphasize the importance of relationships and interconnectedness and psychological health. Okay. So just to kind of get a little bit further into the therapist versus the client role. So the therapist should be a collaborative partner. They should be a facilitator of empowerment. They should advocate and be activists for the change, right? So like you want to be a part of that societal and cultural change that's happening. You want to be transparent and authentic, and you want to be culturally competent. So making sure that you are striving to understand and respect the client's cultural background and experiences, and you're continuously educating yourself about different cultural perspectives and integrating this knowledge into your practice. The client's role is to be an active participant, to self-advocate, to be self-reflective, to be a collaborator in social change, and to be an empowered decision maker. So, of course, as a therapist, you're going to have to empower the client to do all of these things and help give them the skills that they will need for that. But feminist theory doesn't really work unless the client does become an active participant, self-advocate, become self-reflective, and collaborate in social change while being an empowered decision maker. Okay. Usually some dynamics within the therapeutic relationship with the counselor and the client is both the therapist and the client will contribute equally to the therapeutic process and challenge traditional structures. The therapist will typically validate the client's experiences and perspectives and will create a safe and supportive environment. The therapist will also employ a lot of empathy to deeply understand the client's experiences, especially those related to oppression and marginalization. And then also, the therapy goals should be mutually established, ensuring that they align with the client's values, needs, and aspirations. Some practical techniques within feminist theory are empowerment techniques, which encourage clients to recognize their strengths and capabilities. Bibliotherapy, which is using literature that reflects feminist themes to support clients' understanding and healing. Group therapy, which is facilitating groups where clients can share experiences and support each other, which can foster a sense of community and collective empowerment. And narrative therapy, which is helping clients reauthor their stories in ways that emphasize their resilience and strength. Some ethical considerations of feminist theory is cultural competence, which is going to come up with most of these. So just being aware of and sensitive to the cultural backgrounds and identities of clients. Non-hierarchical relationships, which is striving for that egalitarian relationship between the counselor and the client. So making sure that it's a very collaborative and mutual respective relationship. And advocacy and social change. So recognizing the counselor's role in promoting social justice beyond the therapy room. Okay. Some challenges and criticism, which is with all theories. There is a potential for bias. Counselors must remain vigilant about their own biases and ensure they do not impose their values on clients. There should be a balance between individual and social change. So navigating the tension between addressing individual client needs and advocating for broader societal change. There should also be accessibility and inclusivity, so ensuring that feminist counseling is accessible to all genders and recognizing that men can also benefit from and contribute to feminist theory and counseling. So I know this was a rather short video, but feminist theory and counseling is a dynamic and evolving approach that prioritizes the dismantling of oppressive structures and the empowerment of individuals. So like I said, it's ever moving, ever changing. It requires counselors to be aware of and actively work against the societal forces that contribute to their clients' distress while also fostering a therapeutic environment of equality, respect, and collaboration. Through its focus on intersectionality, empowerment, and social justice, feminist counseling offers a holistic and transformative framework for promoting mental and health and well-being. So it is a very useful theory and approach to use, but keep in mind, right, there's a lot more that goes into it beyond just the therapy setting with you and the client working together, and it is ever changing, right? So think about how much has changed in the feminist waves from 2010s to now, right? Like there's change that's happening and it's going to continue to happen, and a lot of different things that could be brought up in that. So like I said, I know that this is short. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to talk with you one-on-one, and I hope you all have a good week.